Hi guys, I'm Aussie Villain and welcome to the final summer transfer special of our time here at Brentford. Next season will be our last season at the club before FM21 comes out. And well, that makes it a big summer, doesn't it? Because we really do want to try and make sure we've come second twice in the Premier League. We don't want to do that again. We want to win it. And I really do want to try and give the Champions League a big push as well. But we'll start by having a quick look at the team, or the best 11 of the Brentford team. So Pickford's in goal, Bogle, Suisi, Soleil and Michelotti. That's more or less our back four, isn't it? So that's good to see. Garner, Farai and Mabry, we've overtaken midfield. Ndedi up, and somehow Mbummo is still out there on the left-hand side, and I could never get a song out of him at all, could I? I'm not quite sure how he's still there, but anyway, on the substitutes bench, we have Goodnartson, may he never come back again, Scott McKenna, Luke Rasic, Rambleson, Dan, Vassi, and De Silva as well, so... It says Farai's in the... Oh yeah, Farai's there in the starting lineup, anyway. So that's the best 11. Now, what do we want to do this summer? If we have a look at... If we search the squad by wages, now Reggie Rambleson was on quite so much money, but I think he's just about worth it. Though if we got 70 million bid for him, midfield is a strength of ours. I think one player that I want to try and get rid of is Pickford. Now he's wanted by Wolves, which is a good sign. He's on 120 grand a week, and we've seen last season signs that he's in decline, and he's not the player he was. He's 34. If we can even get 20 million for him, get those wages off the books, then that would be wonderful. Everybody else, there's nobody else I really want to get rid of. Dan, I know, has come up in the Discord as somebody we could look to move on. He's on 83 grand a week. He didn't really perform for us last season, so he's another one that's probably, we've had the problems in football too, is probably on the chopping block. Paolo, I know I do want to try and get out. He just hasn't worked for us. And again, he's on 80 grand a week. But otherwise, the big question I have coming into this is what to do with the goalkeeper. I kind of decided I want to get red of Pickford. But is Siders Webb ready to step up and be the number one? I'm not completely convinced he is, but he's not that much worse than Pickford already. He's only 18. He's going to get better. He's potentially a world-class goalkeeper. Do we trust him? And then as a backup, we have Zillan, who we already have at the club, again, who's a very decent goalkeeper. So it could be a situation where we could sell Pickford, and that's just money in the bank to spend elsewhere in the squad. So I'm trying to decide within myself if that's what we want to do or not. But yeah, I'd like to improve at centre back. I'd like to maybe get in a better defensive right back and maybe a better left back. But we'll see where this summer takes us. It's going to be a good one, guys. We'll be back when there's something to... Actually, no, what we do have to report already is I do believe we have our budgets. So we've got 71 million effectively to spend. And we have about an extra 100 grand a week, a little bit 80 grand a week to spend. So we are going to have to sell play or get rid of wages, if not sell players, to bring players in. So yeah, it's gonna be a good summer. This one, we're gonna be going all out. Look, all I'm saying is that the Brentford Community Stadium could use a statue, and well, quite frankly, I'd look really good in bronze. Well, look, think about it, but I've got to go. I'm getting another call. Hello? Oh, hi, Mr. Chairman. Is this about my statue? The contract? Well, I'll tell you what, that's about time. Yep, 93 grand a week. That sounds acceptable. A Carabao Cup bonus. Okay. What about my statue? I really want a statue. Look, I'll sign the contract, but I'm not happy about this. We will be revisiting the statue. Hooray! So they did follow through and give us the contract that we'd asked for, or that they said they were going to give us anyway. We've been asking for a contract for a little while now. So 93 grand a week. We've got a bonus if we win the EFL Cup. Don't care about that, to be honest. So that is just excellent news. Now, some other bits of good news. Our academy rating is up to Category 1, so that's fantastic. We are upgrading the youth facilities again, so that should take them up to state of the art, so that's fantastic. And yeah, we know for sure now, it's 100% signed, still and delivered, we are staying for one more season. Alright, so a quick Champions League update. Inter Milan did go on to win the Champions League. So the team that scored a late goal at home to us, which effectively knocked us out of the Champions League, has gone on to win it. And let's not forget, of course, that it looks like they only just snuck through the final, though. Well, it was on penalties after all. But of course, they knocked out Barcelona, the other team in our group, in the semi-finals. So we had a really tough group as things played out there. But a little bit of good news, perhaps, is that Hannibal Mabry's goal against Barcelona, which of course was our club goal this season, as given by the game. As things stand, the voting right now is very much for the James Garner strike against Watford. But he won the goal of the season in the Champions League, so well done to Hannibal Mabry there as well. Okay, a quick commercial summary update. We have a new notable deal, financial services company, $5 million, a 5-year deal worth 5.5. Now, I can never remember. That's a year, isn't it? Or is that total? I can never remember. So there we go. We've got that. We've got 4 new deals worth 2.8 million per year. So it must be in total. So sponsorship is ever so slightly up, about 200 grand, but roughly the same. Corporate hospitality is up about $500,000, which is good. Match day revenue is up 300,000. Broadcast revenue dropped off 2 million, but essentially the same. And prize money, well, that was up 2 million, so that sort of cancelled that out. Total merchandise sales was just over 7 million, which is good to see. 56,000 shirts with Arp, Diallo, Erking-Up, Rambleson, and Indedi, the most popular players at the club, which is excellent to see. We've got a new scouting budget there. We'll fix that up. And we've got the owners have provided a cash injection to cover loan debt. To cover debt incurred this season. So we must have made a small loss last season. But anyway, that's fine. We spent a little bit on transfers, so perhaps that explains that. But there we go. That's the commercial and financial side of things done. Well, mate, you've been a massive overpaid disappointment, but we've doubled our money on you, so I suppose I can't be too upset. But I tell you what, if you score against us next season, mate, oh, I swear to God. So we have the first departure of the summer. Manchester City have taken Paolo off our hands, 37 million, all of his wages. The fans aren't happy about it, but I just never got him to play for us. He didn't score any goals. He got 2 assists. Maybe I was a little bit impatient with him, but to be honest, we have other players in that position. We've doubled our money, more or less. Is that double? It must be getting close to double anyway. So, we'll take it. We'll take it and run. Like I say, we have other players that can play in that position, so that's all well and good. And the other good news, the transfer window has just opened. If we have a look here, Wolves have come in to try and take Pickford off our hands. 30 million all told, 22 up front, then just some installments. Again, that could be 200 grand off the wage bill. Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful start to the summer. Alright, we have another departure, and Jordan Pickford has indeed left us to go to Wolverhampton, so that is excellent. £30 million, 120 grand off the wages as well. He got himself a pay rise, which is not bad work if you can get it, is it? But there we go, so Jordan Pickford has left us as well. In terms of finances, we're still in a really good position now. 130 million we have to spend, and we have about 300 grand a week that we can spend on wages. Obviously, we can move some of the transfer budget over, but that's 2 of the bits of dead wood out of the squad. So yeah, we're shaping up nicely here. We have breaking news this evening out of Brentford, where the club have smashed their transfer record with the £92 million signing of 21-year-old Spanish international defender Hector Amido. Now, for more on this story, we crossed live to local reporter Reginald Haymaker. And Reginald, This is an eye-watering fee. Yeah, thanks, mate, it certainly is. But with Manchester United believed to be interested in the player, manager Aussie Villain has triggered the release fee at Sevilla to ensure that he got his player. Alright, so we have gone all in on Hector Amido here, however you say that, Amuedo, we'll get better at it, but £92 million, 185 grand a week. It is a substantial signing, this one. Let's have a quick look at what we've signed here, and he is an elite centre-back. Look at those physicals, an absolute star. Good tackling, good marking, heading's not too bad. He's got good concentration as well. Bravery and anticipation is there. If we need him to, he can step forward just as well. Good positioning. He's 21. I think he's worth it. Ideally, we wouldn't have paid so much, but he was what he wanted by Manchester United, among other teams. So we just went in and just triggered the release fee to make sure we got him. Now, we know that Scott McKenna's contract is up. He's going to be leaving, so we needed to get a centre-back in. So this is him. This is Scott McKenna's replacement. It's not ideal that we've lost a left-footed defender for a right-footed defender, but I think we can all agree this guy is, if he's not the best centre-back in the world, he's certainly in the conversation. So that is that. It obviously does limit us a little bit in what we can do for the rest of the window. Ultimately, though, I decided that our attack is good. It's the defense that we need to try and strengthen. We have 35 million to spend. We still have about 100 grand, 150 grand. No, we don't. Less. No, yes, we do. About 150 grand a week we have to spend on wages. We do have a number of players that want to get new contracts. So that is. I think, for example, Jaden Bogle wants 180 grand a week. Ndedi wants 180 grand a week. Erkinger wants 180 grand a week. So we've got a little bit of work to do. We can see we've moved up in the European club rankings to 16th place, so that's good. We can see our homegrown players. Now, one other thing that has happened, if we go and quickly have a look here, is that Fete Up has become English. He's got a second nationality of English, so that helps us with the foreign player limits. Now, we do have a couple of other players that came in that same summer. Don't ask me who they are right now because I can't remember. Let's see if I can trigger my own memory here. I want to say it was Hannibal Mabry, I think, is going to become English, and maybe Michelotti as well. So we're going to be in a good place for foreign players, which is excellent. But there we go. We have smashed our transfer record. We've spent a record amount on both single players, and also we've got both those records were gone this season. So let me know what you think in the comments. It's big, it's bold. Is it a waste of money? Well, let's hope not. Okay, it is July 1st. The window is open. The transfer window, that is the international one, I suppose. And we have a new signing. And one, to be honest, I completely forgot that I had signed. John Rodriguez, we've signed him. I think it was a free transfer, at the end of his deal. To be honest, I think this could be a useful little pickup. He's a winger. He's basically, he's a lesser version of Erkinger. So he's right-footed, can play on the left. He's 22. He's going to be paying him 32 grand a week, and I think he will do okay as Morty decides to leave. Okay, bye Mortimus. So I think he's going to do good for us. I completely forgot that I'd signed him, and luckily when I was looking for a backup for Erking, if there was someone sort of available, it wasn't too expensive, I found this guy in our future transfers. So he came from Barcelona. He was on loan in Lille in League last year, did okay. And 32 grand a week is not a bad fee for a backup to working us. So very, very happy with that. Now, obviously, July 1st, that means that contracts have expired. So if we have a look at the players that have released, the main one is Scott McKenna. Did well for us, but the time had come for an upgrade there. The other one we saw in and out of the first team was Tyler Mayhew. He was always in the first team squad, but just never quite developed. Very good physically, not too bad mentally, but technically isn't quite at the standard. And there's a bunch of other young players, none of which really ever threatened to break into the first team. So that is that. We're going to have a look now, see what free agents are available, free transfers are available. We still have a little bit of cash to spend. We'll just kind of see where we go from here. But yeah, we've got back up on the left. We've got a really good centre back in. I think we're going to go with Siders Webb in goal, and we'll just kind of see what else we can pick up from here. Okay, a little bit to catch you up on, nothing too major, but we have made a signing. That is Luke Short, the goalkeeper. The fans say he's a B signing. He's on 7.5 grand a week. He's basically in as just a little bit of cover for goalkeeper. I mean, Siders Webb's going to be... He's 11 million. Let's sell him on. Siders Webb's number one. So this guy will kind of battle it out with Zillan, the other goalkeeper we had. I just realised Zillan and villain rhymes. So he'll sort of battle it out with him. He was at Arsenal, I think, was he? Yeah, so got released by them. And yeah, we'll snap him up as a backup. And that is not a bad price for a backup. And that gives us sort of 3 goalkeepers then that could play in the first team. Now, we do have a couple of outs as well. Again, I wouldn't say anything too major. Guy Maston, we sold to Bournemouth. I don't think he's ever going to make it. We got $500,000 for him with a buyback, but it's not going to matter because we're not going to be here. And Alejandro Rivas, $11.5 million to Eintracht Frankfurt. He's foreign. He's not quite good enough. We could have maybe kept him as a backup, but I didn't really think we needed him. And to get 11.5 million to spend elsewhere, I think is not a bad thing. So we signed him for 1.8. He played 2 games, and we've tenfold got our money. So yeah, that's not a bad return on investment at all. Okay, so we are at the opening day of the Premier League season. We will be facing Newcastle at home in that one. That'll be for next episode. But of course, that brings us to the end of the transfer special. Now, maybe a little bit short and sweet. I think we've done okay. We've got out most of the players that I wanted to get rid of. We've bought just the best part of 80 million in. We've spent 92, but all on the one player. But I think we've more or less strengthened well. Now, before we get to having a quick review of the squad that we have as of right now, we have also played the Community Shield, the Charity Shield against Chelsea. So we got a first look at Amudo in the defence, and let's see how we did. We fell behind in the first half when Jadon Sancho walked through our defence. But we were level at half-time through Lucianinho's deflected shot. Chelsea went back in front after the break. And were 3-1 up after a nice passing move. Niall Lavery's wonderful first-time pass for Erkinger cut the lead to 1 late on. But it was Chelsea who scored again to secure the result. So there we go, disappointing perhaps to lose another Community Shield, but there's a lot of promising signs there. Amudo made his debut, maybe didn't do the best, but as I said, promising signs. We started out a different formation to the way that we finished, and tried a few things out, learnt a few things, which is good. Ultimately Chelsea just a little bit too good for us on that one, but it is what it is. But let's go and have a look and see the squad that we have coming into this one. This one being, of course, the season. You can see our draw there for the upcoming season. But up top, we know that Fete Arp is an absolute star. We know that Vassi is a very good player. We also have Dan who can play up there. We didn't really ever get a bid in for Dan. Now that might change. You can see he's still wanted. But he's useful in a couple of positions for now. Matty Keach, of course, can play up top, as can Diallo if we need him to, but that's not really where we're going to want to use him. Out on the left-hand side, well, there's one man, isn't there? It's Erkinger. He's an absolute class act. And only on 37.5 grand a week as well, which is going to have to increase at some point, isn't it? John Rodriguez is the new man that comes in to back up him out there. We know that Diallo can play out there, and there's a few others as well, but the Erkinger and Rodriguez will be the main two. Over on the right, Ndedi is going to be the main man out there when we play with wingers. Obviously, Dan can play out there as his backup. I would perhaps like to maybe get somebody else in. Of course, we had Pedro Paulo on loan last season. We couldn't get him back in, but we'll keep an eye out for someone that can come out there and maybe even go past Ndedi as the first choice. The number 10 role, this is an important player in our team. So Diallo is one of the main guys that can play there, as can Farai. He always does better, doesn't he, than that star rating would suggest. We also have Hannibal Mabry, who can step forward into this role, along with Niall Lavery, who is, that pass at Wembley, absolutely superb. He can step forward in there as well, and Dan could, in theory, play that role as well. If we drop a little bit further back into midfield, now Diallo can play back here, but we've already seen him. So we're looking at Rambleson. We're looking at James Garner as a defensive option. We've also got Madio. Now he has signed a new contract, 175 grand a week he is on. Ideally, we'll use him more as a DM when we play, in that role. So that's why we've re-signed him to such big money to keep him happy. But he can play here. Hurdle's another option, as is Scherbackler. Now we should be able to register him in the squad with a couple of players that have become English up. I mentioned Suisi's another one, and there was somebody else as well who escapes me right now. We know that Lucianinho can play well in midfield, as can Mabry, and we've seen everybody else there. Defensively, the first two choice centre-backs, I think, are going to be Pavlovic, along with the new boy Aramido. I just love looking at those attributes of his. We also have, of course, Suisi, who can play back here, who is newly English. Soleil, who is a good solid option for us. James Garner can also play centre-back, and we might need to use him there a little bit this season. Michelotti can play centre-back conceivably quite well, and of course Panzo is a solid centre-back as well. Over on the left-hand side, we've just seen Michelotti, we've just seen Panzo, and Vazquez is the other option. I would like to get a stronger left-back in. Ultimately, we can't afford it, though. We're talking, hundreds of millions of pounds between wages and transfer fee. Over on the right, again, I would have liked to have got somebody else in. I know who I want. I can't get them. But Jack Scott was wonderful for us last year, to be honest. Jayden Bogle is still a real... I mean, he matches up. When I look at the guys I'm interested in signing, Bogle matches up. He really is good. It's just a shame he's a bit of a sick note. And McAtee as well is a solid option. I mean, I paid 20 odd million for him, so we should probably use him a little bit more than we do. If we look at the goalkeepers now, you could argue it doesn't really make sense to spend £92 million on a defender to shore up the defence, and then this is the goalkeepers. We're putting our faith this season in the fact that Siders-Webb is going to develop into a really, really good player. So by the time we get to the end of the season where the trophies are being handed out, he is a 3, maybe 3.5 star player. But that's what we're putting our faith in, and hopefully we'll get a little bit of payback for that. The other two options are Zillan, who is solid enough, and of course Luke Short, who we have just brought in as a little bit of cover as well. So that's the team that we have. Let me know what you guys think of that in the comments, where you think we still need to strengthen. As I said, we still got about a month. We're only at August 5th. So plenty of time to get that strengthening done. But if you have enjoyed, as I said, thumbs up. Subscribe if you're new. And I'll see you next time as we get the season underway and the Premier League against Newcastle. Then we'll be playing Inter in the UEFA Super Cup. Take care.